Hi, this is Eddie Deason. You're listening to Breaking the Fourth Wall. I was Mandark in Dexter's Laboratory. Ha 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 ha.
You are listening to Breaking the Fourth Wall on Realm of the Mist Entertainment. Hello everyone and welcome back. Joining me today is a very special guest. I'm very, very excited to have her on today, and I'm sure that she's going to tell you lots of great things. Her name is Jennifer Nash. How are you today, Jennifer?
I am fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
That is wonderful to hear. So, running right into this thing, we're going to dive in head first and really get after it here. Can you tell the listeners what, you don't have to go through a whole resume or anything, but what are you known for?
Like acting-wise, I'm sure that's
Sure.
what you mean. Yeah, well, probably the biggest one these days is Star Trek Next Generation. I played Captain Picard's daughter, Maribor, on The Inner Light, where he lived his life, a whole other life, through a probe, and my planet was dying, so we put a probe in his head so he'd think about us. It was a warning to other planets, that were going through climate crisis.
Yeah.
A little ahead of its time, actually, that show.
Yeah. And, that's one heck of a time capsule.
I know. Wouldn't you like to be able to pull that off?
Yeah.
Sending a time capsule into someone's brain, far into the future.
Well, actually, now that you say it out loud, it doesn't sound so good.
Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, it was a really cool episode, and of course, it was amazing to work with Sir Patrick Stewart, who is the nicest, kindest, most humble, and brilliant actor, just right up there at the very top of echelon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I imagine that would be fantastic to work with him. Well, my show today is not about Sir Patrick Stewart. It is about the lovely Jennifer Nash. I want to hear more about you.
Oh, okay. Well, I made a living, doing all the TV shows that people might have remembered, at least clicking through the channels in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Full House, Home Improvement, Coach. I'm really very proud of my episode of Coach because it was a fun role. It's very silly, and I think it's pretty funny. I still laugh. If I watch it, I laugh at myself. So I'm like, oh, that did pretty good, Anyway, I did a lot of stuff, Sliders and Blossom and just a lot of shows like that.
Yeah.
And, I did a little bit of theater. That, of course, would never be on IMDb, and did some commercials and, all that stuff that actors do, voiceover work, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you definitely have a very long and distinguished career here. I see lots of good stuff.
Well, I don't know about distinguished, but I was working.
Hey.
Supporting 4 children.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Good for you.
Totally awesome. Yep. A very young mom. Got knocked up when I was 18 in Texas and, took him to London to school with me and never looked back. This kid, I dragged him all over the place with me. In fact, when I moved to LA, I just finished up a little stint in Dallas doing theater at the Dallas Theater Center and a really cool place called the Dallas Theater Garage. If anyone knows the Theater Garage, mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, we would bond in 2 seconds because it was so cool and intimate and different. But anyway, so I kind of saw like the National Endowment of the Arts going away, and I was playing young roles at this time. So I thought, I'm never going to make a living, and I've got a kid already, so I'm going to Hollywood. And put the kid in the car, came out to LA, shared a 1-bedroom apartment in Koreatown with my girlfriend and Max, my kid.
Oh, my.
Yep. And Koreatown sucked when I got here. It's cool now, but it sucked back then. It really, I mean, not totally. They were really cool buildings. That's why I went there.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw I saw a building with lions in the front and a doorman, and I was like, it's like New York. I'll go here. I didn't know. I knew no one. But we were unfortunately across the street from a burned out building where drug deals were constantly going down and sometimes shootings. It was pretty exciting.
To put it politely, yeah. Holy cow. Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, I got an agent in 2 weeks, and I never, the whole legend and the theme that people think is going to happen is you come out and get a waitressing job, and have a flexible schedule so you can audition. I never got a waitressing job. Never happened. I started acting right away, and so I was very lucky. I'm very happy about that because I did not want to be auditioning during the day and losing my kid at night while I went waitressing somewhere.
Right, yeah. No.
So I never had to do it. So I was very, very, very fortunate. And I just dragged him around with me until my audition.
What
it was hilarious.
What a life to live, though.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
No, he really was raised in the theater, and, starting when he was 1 in London at school, and then in New York on Broadway, and then in Dallas in the theater, and then, going to auditions in Los Angeles with me. It was kind of fun.
Wow. So you said you were in Texas when that all started, right?
Yeah, when I got knocked up.
Yeah. When that whole adventure started.
Yeah. That's where that happened.
You were born in South Africa, right?
Yeah, that was just a fluke. My parents wanted to get out of it.
How did you get from point A to point B? And then you also said you were in New York and London and...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went around a little bit in the beginning.
Good.
Well, I didn't have much to do with being born in South Africa. It has nothing to do with me if my mom got knocked up on the ship over to Europe. You know what I'm saying? I was just a little tiny, bunch of cells, really.
Right.
It just happened that way. I had no decision in that. I'm no part of that decision.
Wow. So when you moved from there to Texas and before all that, had you ever thought about being an actress before you had gotten pregnant? Or was that
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. No. So it's, as are all people's stories, I don't care who you are, we all have a complicated story. Mm-hmm. But I started acting before 5th grade. I remember, you just made something trigger my memory. When I was like 6 years old, 6 or 7, there was a national campaign to audition for Annie on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
They were they were reviving it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I saw the ad in the newspaper, and I was a real early reader. I mean, I could read when I was like 4 years old, 3 or 4, really super early. And I begged my parents to take me to that audition, and they wouldn't do it. They were like, no way. But so I mean, I know I wanted to be an actress when I was 6, for sure. And then when I was in 5th grade, I was at a little Catholic school. By this time, I was in Austin, Texas, and I wrote and directed and produced and starred in my first musical. And it was a big hit.
Wow.
I mean, a big hit at our school.
Well, still, I mean, that's something.
Yeah.
Now, is this something that can be found on the internet?
Oh, my God, I wish. I have no idea. I hand wrote the thing. I was in 5th grade. People didn't have laptops in their houses back then.
Right. No, that's true.
I didn't even have a typewriter. So I hand wrote it, and then the school principal, who really liked me, she really loved me for some reason. She made copies and like gave it out to the cast, and I directed it, and I can't, it's great. Who knew?
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
That's amazing. All the way back then it started, huh?
Mhm.
And it just kept on going from there, and look at you now. You got you got anything big? I know you probably can't talk about too much of anything if you do, the whole non-disclosure and whatnot, but are you working on anything big right now?
I think it's going to be huge, but it's writing. I've created a series that I'm so, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. It's a sci-fi time travel series, and it's inspired by all the Star Trek series only in the respect that it's got social justice messages sort of woven throughout every episode.
Oh.
And when you're talking about time travel, you're talking about social justice issues from the past, present, and future. And believe me, we are right around the corner, if not already there, at facing some new issues, morality and otherwise, that are just they're so new. They're just so mind-blowing.
This is very true. And you explored
Yeah.
that in your books, huh? That sounds...
Yeah, it's a series. It's a TV series, but it's also a graphic novel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I guess I misunderstood that. I apologize. That's cool.
That's okay. I mean, I'm not a showrunner. I don't have Vince Gilligan's, track record under my belt. So maybe I will have to write it as a novel first. And I will, because that's how passionate I am about telling these stories. I mean, they just have to get told. They just have to be seen. They just have to be shared. And I just have to tell them,
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Yeah.
Does it have a working title?
Yes, it's called Hide, like you're hiding from someone.
Right. Oh, neat. That's very intriguing.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a trailer on YouTube. You can find it. If you type in Hide the Series and my name, Jennifer Nash, it'll pop right up.
Okay.
Subtitled in 5 languages, in case you speak Chinese.
Ooh, I do not. But
Yeah.
Thanks for the consideration.
Ooh.
I like it.
You're welcome.
That's cool. That's really cool. I'm impressed. Most people don't have that kind of staying power. Between 5th grade to 6th, you change your mind about what you want to do in your future about 20 different times. Was there anything else that you wanted to do besides that, or was it just, I'm going to be an actress, and that was it, just headlong into it?
When I was young, it was headlong into acting, and there was no stopping me. And I had almost no support from my family. My parents, for sure, were just very discouraging of the whole thing. But I just knew that was going to be my path, and I did it for a long time. Mm-hmm. But there have been some other things. I went to culinary school about 5.5 years ago. Yeah, I love to cook. I absolutely love to cook. And so I took a little sidestep into the cooking world, and that was super, super fun. But I think my real passion, and I have been writing also since I was little, poetry, plays, like I told you, that first play in 5th grade I wrote.
Yeah.
Stories. I had a blog for a while, dating and adventures in the land of the lost. Land of the Lost. I called the City of Angels the Land of the Lost at the time.
So that's such an aptly put title.
It's kind of long, but I was writing that blog and had about 100, if not tons, but like 150,000 people checking it out from all over the world, which was very flattering. But word of caution, it's rated R.
Oh,
well,
there you go. Put that out there.
A little bit rated R sometimes. It's dating. It's called Dating and Adventures in the Land of the Lost, so it was a little bit sometimes,
Yeah, well, I mean, anything to do with Los Angeles is kind of, starts out as R-rated anyway, so.
thanks for understanding. I said, oh my gosh, other places aren't as bad. Give me a break.
So, you've done a lot of different things, but I noticed that a lot of times with people that have been in Star Trek, they tend to do conventions of some sort or another. Have you done any conventions like that?
I've done a couple.
Yeah.
I've done a couple. Yep. And I don't have very many regrets in my life. Of course, I've made a ton of mistakes, just like everybody else. But that's not the same as a regret. Do you feel me? Do you feel that way, or can you understand that?
I do. Yeah, I completely understand. Yeah, I mean, you can make mistakes along the way and recover from it and learn from it. But then there's stuff that you do that's definitely a regret, and you think about it for a long time.
One of my regrets is from the second Star Trek convention I ever did, and I've only done 3. So I've been to 3 conventions over all these years. And the second one was not just Star Trek, it was sci-fi. So we were right next to Star Wars. It was Star Trek and Star Wars people right next to each other. Uh-huh. And my gay BFF, who I call my gay husband, he came with me because he's a total Star Wars freak. He could care less about Star Trek, but he loves Star Wars. And I get that. I love Star Wars too. And I became friends with David Mayhew, who played Chewbacca. May he rest in peace. And for some reason, we were always seated next to one another. I don't know why. But that was cool. That's how I got to know him.
Yeah.
And so my BFF was in heaven, man. He was in heaven. And this couple that I had met in Vegas came up to the table and said, "Can we take you guys to a steak dinner after the show?" And we looked at each other and said, "Sure." So they're like, "We're going to meet in the bar afterwards," and it was like the hotel bar. So we're like, "Cool, we'll meet you over there." So we go to the bar, and first Mark goes to the bathroom. This is my big, tall, gay BFF, Star Wars freak friend. He goes to the bathroom, comes back, and he's in heaven. He was like, "Oh my God, I had such a surreal moment. I'm at the urinal, and next to me is Chewbacca and R2-D2 and my other favorite droid. I'm surrounded by my childhood, but they're here in real life, and we're all at the urinal." I was like, "Oh my God, Mark, that's so amazing." So that's funny, right?
Yeah.
So that was really funny.
I'm just
cool
imagining that in my head, like.
Right?
This
But
stuff you never
really
think about.
tall Peter Mayhew and the droids, the guys, the actors that were R2-D2, and I can't remember his other favorite droid, but he was really excited. So I'm like, I don't know what to expect at this steak dinner, but sure enough, a big, humongous limo comes and picks us up and takes us to this super fancy restaurant. I mean, it was like over the top. And so I'm looking at Mark going, I don't know, I might be paying for this, so maybe we should split an entree. It's like $65 an entree.
Yeah,
and Mark's like, "Yeah, good plan. Good plan. Let's split an entree just in case you have to pay for it." So sure enough, no. We were in a private dining room with only 12 people, and Rod Roddenberry was hosting.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was so. And no one told us he would be there, but it was his party. It was his little dinner party, and it was only 12 people in a private room. And I remember I ate so much because it was so good that I had a terrible stomachache afterwards. And after dinner, he came up to me and said, "Do you have anything in the works that you want to talk to me about?" And I was just kind of like, "No, I'm just acting and being a mom." And that's my biggest acting story regret.
Yeah.
Because I could have said, let's. It was Sunday night. I should have said, let's meet Thursday. And between Sunday and Thursday, I could have come up with something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You could, anything at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me pitch you. I've got a story.
Scribble it on the napkin. That happens in the
exactly.
movies, right?
Yeah, of course, it sure does. Sure does. And, run, they're coming right up to you saying, what do you got? Want to talk to me about a project? Like, you're in the headlights. I had too much steak and lobster. I can't even talk.
Oh my god.
I'm in a coma.
Poor thing.
I'm in a food coma. Poor thing. Yeah. Anyway, can you imagine? So
I would be mortified. I definitely see why that's a regret over a mistake.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for understanding.
Oh, absolutely. Holy cow. I couldn't imagine being in that, because quite honestly, I really feel like anybody would have been in that same situation. You got this, you just ate all this food, you're not feeling quite right, or just stuffed to the gills, and then here this icon comes up to you and says, hey, what do you got that you want to talk about? I mean, could anybody really formulate words at that point? I feel like
I was just so shocked that he was, I mean, when it was kind of the deal where we were in this fancy sort of bar area, and also I must confess that the champagne was flowing.
Aha, the truth comes out.
Coming around, yeah, it was all of the above,
Yeah.
so much. And the servers were coming around just giving you glasses of champagne and even more glasses of champagne. And, and then we go get ushered into this big private room, and it wasn't until everybody was seated and then he came in and sat at the head of the table. It was kind of dramatic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, you just sit there, oh boy. That's great.
Anyway, that's my best convention story, I think. Although there's some good stories, but that's my best one and probably my biggest regret.
But that was a twofer. I love it. That's a really great story, honestly. I know that, it may not be the best memory you have, but,
right.
I enjoyed that story very much. Thank you for sharing it with me.
You're very welcome.
So, obviously, anybody who is anybody that has seen you in any of your capacities knows that you're a very well-rounded actress, and you're very good at what you do. So, I gotta ask, is there anything that you are not good at?
Oh, my God. Of course. Tons of stuff. I'm terrible at math. I'm dyslexic, in fact.
Oh
and
my.
because, I'm actually dyslexic. And so math is torturous for me. I invert numbers, and it's really, really bad.
Oh.
And I'm a writer, but writing takes me 5 times as long as a quote-unquote normal person.
Yeah.
Because I invert words, it's just constantly going back and, fixing your spelling, sometimes I invert words in sentences.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm bad at tons of stuff. I'm bad at relationships. I mean, I guess I'm bad at relationships. Not with my kids. I think I'm a really good mom. We're really close. That worked out great.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Maybe yeah, some people have said that I'm bad at choosing the, guys, the men.
Oh. Well,
yeah.
I mean, can anybody really gauge anything these days? I mean, everybody wants to be something else, and you never know. So.
Well, sure. I mean, I've got plenty of friends that are married, and stay together, and do the whole thing, and it doesn't turn into a disaster. I don't seem to have that skill.
You said you had 4 kiddos. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's awesome. And are they all older, middle-aged, teenage?
Yeah. No, they're all in college or past now. The youngest one is in college.
Wow. So have any of them said to you, look, Ma, I really wish you had spent more time with us?
No, because, I mean, I had some really near misses. I mean, my biggest, really close call that would have changed my life was Friends. It came down to me and Jennifer Aniston. And I had, little kids at that time. Mm-hmm. I'd already done some work with Matt LeBlanc, and we had great chemistry, and, and it came down to just me and her. And maybe, although I got to tell you, if people not in the industry don't know this. Getting a sitcom is the most wonderful thing for having a family, because it's not a terrible schedule. It's a pretty chill schedule. It's more chill than most people's, quote unquote 9-to-5 jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I imagine that would be a good thing. Yeah.
No, amazing. Like amazing. That would be great. But I was, lucky in the respect that I didn't get on ER, for instance, like a show like ER or The West Wing. You go into a tunnel and you don't come out for months because the schedule is so intense with shows like that.
Oh.
But no, I was there with my kids. I mean, that was my luxury. I didn't make a ton of money. I'm not super duper famous, but my luxury was that I was totally there, making costumes for plays, building sets, having parties at my house. Oh, I was the mom who made the cake, and the parents would come and drop their kids off at the party and say, "What are you doing the cake? Because we don't want to miss your cake." I'm like, I'm so flattered. I can make good cake, don't I?
Yeah. Well,
the fact that really lucky about that.
Yeah, the fact that your kids never said, hey, Ma, we wish you had to spend more time with us. You really focused too much on your. The fact that they never said that is a testament to what a good mom you were. Because most kids, once they get older, they let you know. So, and regarding the whole between you and Jennifer Aniston, you kind of dodged a bullet, because otherwise you would have had to put up with an on-again, off-again relationship with David Schwimmer. So.
Well, I don't know, man. She started dating Brad Pitt pretty quickly after she got Friends. And the irony is that Brad Pitt lived in my neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
So I used to see them. Yep, I used to see them every Sunday, me, by myself, not with a date or a husband, but with my kids.
Yeah.
And they would come into Victor's, our neighborhood, like, deli brunch place on Sunday with their, baseball hats and their sunglasses and their flip-flops. And I would see them, like, many Sundays together right down there in my neighborhood. Yeah, it was crazy.
So lucky.
I mean, Brad Pitt's so sweet and so nice. I used to run into him. I mean, we were, in this kind of, I don't know, smallish neighborhood, I guess. So I would see him all the time at the grocery store, and he was super nice. But I wasn't jealous of her for being with Brad Pitt. I just would have loved to have had that role, of course.
Right,
it would have
yeah.
changed my life.
I don't blame you there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But I don't think she has any children. So I win on that level.
You do. And, as a father, I could say having children is a win. Every single time you have one. It's a new win every time. So I have one last little question for you as we're coming up on the end of the show. Just one quick little question. Feel free to take your time as long as you want to answer it. But so at the end of a nice long day, what do you do to relax and unwind?
It's really boring these days. It used to be different. But these days, honestly, it's pretty gosh darn boring. If I'm not involved in like a show that I'm binge watching, Game of Thrones was that for a while. Like a lot of people.
Right.
Or whatever. So if I'm not involved in a show that's got me hooked, I'm watching the news. And I'm writing.
All right. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, and let's face it, for the last couple of years, the news has been like a soap opera.
Yeah, it really has.
It's been very exciting. Yep. I'm kind of a little bit addicted, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit addicted.
It's something new, like every other week, it seems like. And they really they did kind of turn to more drama stuff, probably trying to get their ratings up.
I don't know if they even had to turn to it. I think it's been pretty dramatic, but I know that does sound really boring, but I'm not with my kids all the time now because they're bigger. But when I am with people, whether it's a boyfriend or kids, the other thing that I do at the end of the day to chill out is cook. And I love it. I love to cook. It's one of my biggest little, comfort pleasures, relaxations, cooking for people.
What's your famous dish?
Oh, I've got so many. Oh my gosh. I do an incredible paella, which is kind of hard to pull off.
Yeah.
I think I've become sort of adept at doing special dietary needs. So gluten-free or vegan, stuff like that. I love that challenge. I love, having a dinner party. Other people would drive them crazy, but for me, I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is fun. Like I've got a vegan person and someone with a nut allergy and then a gluten-free person.
All at the same table. Let's do it. That's awesome.
Yeah, let's make that menu happen. And this is LA, so it's kind of crazy like that. I'm not doing carbs.
But
I'm not
fun.
doing carbs.
Yeah, you got to watch them carbs nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we are officially at the end of the show, as sadly as that is, because I've been having a wonderful time conversing with you. But I want to thank you
so
very much for coming on the show and gracing me with your presence.
Thank you.
And if you ever want to come back, maybe next time do a video show instead of just audio, down the line when I transition over to video, that would be absolutely amazing.
Okay, sounds good. I'm in.
Just real quick here at the very end, is there anywhere or anything that you want people to go to check out more of your works?
Absolutely. I want you to go to either my Facebook page, but it's close to getting filled up as far as being my friend, or the Hide Facebook page. And it's just Hide, like hide and go seek, but only that word hide. And it's a series, and we are going to be selling the graphic novel to start out with, coming up really soon. And we're getting funding together for the series. And on that Hide Facebook page, you can also see the link to the YouTube trailer, which I'm proud of. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you were able to write that, with your dyslexia and everything is just a testament to how devoted you are to it. So it's going to be great. Everybody better go check it out.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you.
Thank you once again for coming on the show, having a few laughs with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you later. That's it for today's show, ladies, gentlemen, and anything around or in between. Another great interview. Remember, I'm Ray, and this has been Breaking the Fourth Wall. Check me out at Chronicles of the Lost Realm on YouTube, Anchor, and Instagram. I can also be found on War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast. Become a Patreon to help us provide even more content and quality entertainment for you. All of our shows can be found on Anchor.fm or wherever podcasts can be heard. Breaking the Fourth Wall is a Realm of the Mist affiliate.